Hello everyone and welcome to another zodiac painting video. This week's painting is the zodiac sign of Taurus, and it's a much different painting than the one I did last week for Aries. The reason for that is that Taurus belongs in the element of earth while Aries belongs in the element of fire, and as I said in the previous video as well, I decided that for this series I'll focus on that and the main characteristics of each zodiac sign in order to decide what to do with each painting. They will be similar if they belong in the same element, and they will belong in the same series, but they won't be all 12 the same theme, style and color palette. I made these choices on purpose in order to get inspired to do something different for each zodiac sign, and it didn't take long at all to realize that these limitations I put on myself were actually a great boost for my creativity. And that's how I chose today's video topic. It's natural to think that if you have all the freedom to do and create whatever you want, you'll be very creative and you'll come up with tons of ideas. But sometimes this is very chaotic, and it creates a sense that if I can do anything at all, what the hell is the best thing to do right now? At least that's how it works for me. So putting limitations on myself sometimes is even better for my creativity. It somehow traps my mind in something specific, and I'm forced to come up with creative solutions, which I think is exactly what art is, don't you think? It's amazing to sit down and see what your brain can come up with if you limit it completely to maybe one word or one emotion, maybe one color, or a limited color palette. All that creativity and that experience that we have been gathering all this time creating art, it's like it's working at the same time to find creative solutions for a problem. I think that's specifically the reason why challenges like Inktober work so well for our creativity. I personally hate the time limitation on these challenges. I think that the pressure is too much and I start making sloppy moves. But other than that, I think that the prompts are amazing to bring new ideas to our head and to force us out of our comfort zone, to force us to come up with creative solutions for things that we wouldn't ever have thought otherwise. Some of them will be useless and we will never get back to them, but often we come up with ideas that we wouldn't have thought otherwise and that are quite amazing for our taste and for our style. And if you choose those and you stick to them, your style will evolve and your creativity will evolve, and more ideas are bound to come later on. This series is somehow doing that for me in the same sense. I am limited by the palette I put myself the limitation on based on the element of each zodiac sign. Obviously, I'm limited by the symbols and the way each zodiac is represented in the zodiac circle, and I'm also a little bit limited. I try to keep myself limited by the characteristics and the main aspects of each zodiac sign, the personality traits, let's say. So in this way, I find that I'm coming up with new ideas that I wouldn't have thought otherwise and I wouldn't have tried in my art otherwise, and I'm also forced to use color palettes that are not those that I would have chosen for my art otherwise. And it's quite interesting. The ideas I'm coming up with and the things that I find I enjoy are the things that I didn't expect to enjoy. And if I'm already feeling like that with just 2 zodiac signs completed, 1 in the making and a few more just as a vague idea in my head, I can't wait to see what will come from all 12 of them in the end. So I think that what I'm trying to say with this video and this topic is to try it for yourself. Try limited palettes or a series like this, or prompts from a challenge without maybe the time limitation or the pressure to always create something. Just try to put your mind in a situation that is not your normal situation, let's say, and try and see what new ideas will come, what new techniques you'll want to try, maybe different mediums, and you'll find out that you will evolve. It is inevitable to come up with new solutions and find that you are much more creative than maybe you expect yourself to be. For me, in this painting specifically, a few ideas came up at first the normal ones, draw a bull, maybe a live animal, but it felt like it would be more of a wildlife painting rather than a zodiac sign painting, so I discarded those immediately. I didn't want to do a full body of an animal, and honestly the references online for bulls are quite limited as well. There are quite a few references from full body bulls from the bullfights in Spain, which is something that I didn't want to put myself through. I avoid those things as much as possible, and I can't go through the pain of watching an injured animal suffer, so it was another reason that I said no to full body bulls, and I tried to avoid searching for references in the first place. So the more I said no to the ideas that came, the more ideas were coming in order to solve my problem. It didn't take long for the idea of a statue to come in my mind, and I liked this idea because there are a lot of bull statues, full body or head, that actually depict the pride and the strength of this animal. So I liked that. I wanted to create something that would make a bull look strong and proud. And a statue was also the perfect symbolism for the stability of the Taurus as a zodiac sign, so it clicked. It was great. It was a challenge, it was something new, it was fresh, it did have the color palette that I wanted, the grays, browns, greens, etc. So I was ready to go. While thinking about it a little bit longer, I also decided to add the golden jewels, which were added on purpose on the horns and not in the nose as usually in the bulls, because that's also a sign of weakness and I didn't want that. But the gold is for me the symbol for wealth and luxury, something that those who are born under the sign of Taurus are well known for. They enjoy good things in life, like good food, good wine, and luxurious objects. So I thought that this would be the perfect symbolism for that as well. And it was amazing to see how easy I was coming up with ideas, even though I was very much limited to the color palette and the animal. So this is what sparked the idea for this video as well, which is exactly what I'm talking about all this time. I decided to try a couple of sketches very fast to see what kind of stone wall I would want to use for the background and what shape I would like to put on the bull head, and I was fine with that. I didn't feel very comfortable creating the stone wall, so I got some references and created some fast sketches of different types of stone walls, and I tried to see what would work best with the atmosphere I wanted for my painting. I didn't want to go with something very modern. I didn't want it to feel very modern. I was having in mind those old statues that were just forgotten somewhere on a wall, created by someone unknown today, you know, maybe a little bit broken or covered in moss, the way I did. Tried different things and decided to create the stone wall the way you see me create it right here. After doing the sketches and studying a little bit like that, everything else was just easy from then. I created the painting and here I am creating the video as well. It's amazing to see what difference it makes to give myself the luxury to have time to take it slow and study for each painting, to try different ideas without the thought that I should always be producing stuff. I'm learning a lot and I'm focusing on learning that rather than producing, and it has made a huge difference for me. I think that as artists we push ourselves way too much to create and share all the time, and this is taking a toll on the kind of art we are creating. And I'm pretty sure this has affected each and every one of us at one time or another. And I would also like to say that if you are doing this to yourself, take a step back and see if it really works well for you, or if you would like to give yourself more time and permission to experiment and have fun and learn new things instead of always producing in order to show others and to share on social media. This series is doing all of that for me specifically. It's working perfect, but it's not the same for everyone, obviously, so you just have to sit back and see what will work best for you if you're up to try something new, and maybe take my advice into account. That's all from me though. That's all about Taurus and all the ideas and thoughts that came into my mind while doing all this process. The next video will not be of Gemini because I wanted to share a little bit more with you from my studies and the hand sketches I did and the fabrics I sketched for Gemini, even though, as I will mention on my next video, I ended up not using them from my painting of Gemini. I started it, I didn't like it, I trusted and started over. But the practice I did stays and it was valuable, so I will share that in my next video and then I will go back to the zodiac circle. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a thumbs up before you go. If you want to see more videos like this, consider subscribing to my channel and hit the bell button to get notifications when I upload a new video. I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, be safe, be happy and keep going for your dreams. Bye!